It is vintage. I was doing this a little bit. I was doing this a little bit. That is vintage Voltron right there. That's a vintage Voltron song. We
That's
got an
great.
intro.
That's funny.
Welcome to the least watched stream on my channel. It's so funny because we were first off, welcome back to Vintage Voltron. It's been a year. but I will be honest. I did tell Bernardo early this year. I said, hey, I want to bring this back as a monthly thing. He said, sure. And then my electricity went out. The winter storm came. I didn't have internet for 3 weeks. And then February blew by, and now it's March. I am just now. It so happened that the week my internet went out, all this board game news came out that I just found out about a week ago. And I talked to you, I was like, have you heard? You went, dude, I was like, dude, I didn't have internet for. And the thing is, what did I do? Matt, you didn't check internet? No, I checked my phone and watched streaming movies. I didn't check any news. I thought I'll just catch up on it later. And I have been backed up. And I finally found out about certain things. I was like, what the heck? We got to do Vintage Voltron now more than ever. So we're going to do it quarterly. I don't know what we're going to do. But first topic of conversation, what have we been up to? What I mean, you know about me. My channel's still active. But what about Bernardo? What have you been up to?
So I've still been doing shows as a mentalist, touring. As of late, we started a business, which is a business where I build automations for other businesses to kind of streamline their work process. It has been crazy. That is blowing up a lot right now. That's a lot of what I've been doing. I've been playing a lot of board games lately. And
yes, we'll be talking about that.
And our Christmas tree's still up because I'm waiting to record a video still that my fiance is like pushing me to hurry up and record so she can take it down.
No! Do you know that there was one neighbor, she had it up until late February. She put it out 2 weeks or a week before Halloween. She had her Christmas decor out. She just removed the tree a few weeks ago. Like late February, she finally took that. Now, here's the thing. In Louisiana, sometimes people keep it as a Mardi Gras tree. Mardi Gras ended on February 17th. But the thing is, though, it wasn't a Mardi Gras tree. It was still a Christmas. I can see it in the window. It was still a Christmas tree. So I was like, dang, that is a long time. But you are being, and I knew some. And when my girls get older, if they want to do this, I'll do this. My buddy Mikey kept his tree up for 11 months. Dang. He took it down in November, but he changed it. He made it a Mardi Gras, then a St. Patty's Day, then an Easter tree. Then for 3 months, it was an American tree for Memorial Day, 4th of July, and Labor Day. And then he made it a Halloween tree, put spiders on it, put spider web stuff on it, got orange and purple lights, and got Halloween themed ornaments. I was like, dude, I can't wait because Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. I said, I can't wait to see what a Thanksgiving tree will look like. Went to his house in November. I said, where is it? He went, oh, I took it down. I said, Mikey, you're 1 month away from Christmas. He said, yeah, but the fun about Christmas is you get to put back up the tree. I was like, no, a year-long tree. I'm going to do that when my girls get older one day. I think that'd be fun. But he was changing out the lights to like it was red, white, and blue lights for the summer because it's American, holidays. So really cool stuff there. But anyway, so good for Bernard. And by the way, Bernard's always been here. I talk to him all the time. So just don't do this. Now, I will say you'll be seeing a lot more of him on my channel in the near future because coming soon, I'm bringing him back 6 years later. Top 50. It's been 6 years since you and Luke did because my babies were just born.
I think it's 4 years since I've made a video on my channel almost now.
Okay, yeah. And so 6 years ago, we did our top 50. Top 50 vintage games. I did 100, but y'all said we can only come into 50. Well, now I only have about 50 games. So now vintage games. And so now we're both going to do our vintage. Lists have changed a lot. I always do a vintage every other year now because I don't get as many acquisitions, although that has greatly improved this year and the past year or so, because I've made 2 new acquisitions, and that will be added to the list right before I got to play my newest game before I can add that to the list. But the thing is also, I found it more interesting when I bring in other people. 2 years ago, it was Jamie and Norm. 2 years before that, Mark from Attic Raiders came on. I knew Mark, but I don't think we had Mark on. It was just right before we did our top 50 vintage. And then we started having Mark on. I said, I got to get Mark on there. So I've had just about everyone I wanted to, and I wanted to bring Bernardo back on and Luke, but Luke is MIA right now. It's okay. He's okay. He's fine. But anyway, so look for that. I don't know when. I'm going to talk to Bernardo after this. I'm hoping sooner rather than later. Obviously, I got to get in something, which I'm going to reveal in just a moment. But I am just about ready because I already told him I was making my list, and I have. But however, there's one more game coming in that I've got to play. So speaking of, what have we been playing? What have we been playing? Now, Bernardo, I will let you go first, my friend, as I bring up the game you've been playing a lot of.
Is it the oh man, yes. A hot streak. So I've been playing, so it's funny, my board game bags here from the game that I just had.
Yeah.
This game is great. So it is a betting racing game. So you have your mascots, they are racing, you don't own them. A lot of games you like have racers, but in this you're just betting on who wins. And there's a deck that's built randomly based on the number of players you have, and you get 3 cards to randomly put in cards to like throw off the race. So like the mascots can go backwards, they can turn around and start running the other way on the racetrack. They can knock each other down. It is so funny, so ridiculous.
Yeah, and those pieces are real. They look real. They're great quality components. Also, the box rolls out the field. And that's why there's that little dial on the side of it in the picture here. Yeah, here, I'm going to get rid of the picture here. And I'll show. Yeah. Look at that.
So
the game is actually in a box.
It's great.
The game in a box there. But yeah, now I mentioned this is similar to another game you've played, Magical Athlete.
Yes.
But you prefer Hot Streak.
No.
Oh!
No.
Whoa! Magical Athlete. Okay, hold on. I don't have a picture of that one, so you got to show that one off.
Magical Athlete is just a better.
By the way, this is a new game. It's made to look like a retro game.
It's a reprint of an older game.
Yes.
I think they said Richard Garfield did it, the guy who did Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
It is so much fun. So it's a game. So you have, you're doing a snake draft. So you get cards depending on the number of players. You take a character, pass it around, then the last player gets 2 and then passes it in reverse. And every character has an insanely busted ability. Like they're laughably funny. There's one character that if you land on the space, you remove them from the game. Or one where you literally are a hypno snake who pulls you onto their space before it makes a move. They're all insane. And it's just this comical rolling dice and then wondering if your character is going to show up on the race. And it's the most ridiculous game.
But because there are so many characters, each race can be different, can be vastly different from one another. So no games are alike. There's so much replayability in Magical Athlete. Is that what? Hold on, just one. Yeah. Is that compare and contrast? Why is it better? Now you like both games. Say that, but why Magical Athlete over Hot Streak?
Yeah, so Magical Athlete I like because of the variability of the characters. There's a lot more laughable moments. It's more focused on the race and you own the racer. What I like about it is you can play a bunch of games extremely quick, and you can for Hot Streak as well. I think the thing that makes Hot Streak in a different bracket as well is it plays more players. So Magical Athlete plays up to 6. Hot Streak plays up to 8, which is crazy. I don't have a lot of games that do that and keep that much engagement throughout the whole game.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
But
you can get lost in the shuffle.
Is just more funny. Like you'll have more comedy level stories to tell from Magical Athlete. But right now, Hot Streak, my group is obsessed with it. So we didn't even play Magical Athlete the last game night. We played a bunch of just Hot Streak, which was great. That's what I was hoping.
That's awesome. So meanwhile, I've been playing. My kids had spring break last week. I took a day off with them. And then also, I don't have much of a gaming group anymore. So this whole weekend, we played a bunch of vintage games. We played a lot, which is what I was saying. Hey, I need to get my vintage list together because I played through some games. But my son, who was talking to Bernardo earlier, his number one game right now, I mean, the game that we must play every night, played it tonight too, basket. If you don't know basket, it's the ping pong. It is the very first game I reviewed on my channel. Matt's board game review, basket was number one because that was the easiest one for me to talk about. And it's basically just a ping pong ball shifting around this court that's all wonky, and it goes in one of the holes. And spring-loaded shooters, and they shoot into the basket. And when you make a goal, it feels pretty awesome. And he can make goal. He's 4, but he's figured out where he can make some good goals. And whenever you make a goal, you feel like He-Man. I mean, he's so pumped, and he loves he told Bernardo it's the basketball game. He won't play the basketball game. And he is such a big fan of this one. And I played this when I was a kid too. I love it too. There's an electronic version I bought a long time ago, but it didn't work. Boo. It's supposed to have an electric counter whenever the ball hits it, but it wasn't working. Now, to be fair, I didn't pay that much for it, but I asked the guy, is this working? Because he couldn't find batteries to show me that it worked. He went, I promise you it works. And it did not. I was pissed. But I did say, I threw the box away. I threw everything away except for the ping pong balls because they were basketball colored. They had the lines on them like a basket. I said, that's kind of cool. So I kept the basketball colored ping pong balls, and we play with the old version, which is a lot of fun. But right now, my son, this is the game. And I'll be honest, I have a lot of fun doing it. It's a 10-minute game. If you want to play for each pair, 5 minutes for each pyramid, we play two halves at 5 minutes each. So it's just a fun game. We just have a blast playing it. And sometimes his sister plays too by controlling some of the prongs there. So
he played Pro Action. Have you had him play that yet?
We played Pro Action, but he's still not used to flicking and hitting it.
That's fair.
Because he really loved it. But they can't, and my girls can't figure out how to pinch and kick the ball yet. We tried it, and I made my wife play. She was not happy, but we played it just to kind of show them how it worked. But that is a fun. I can't wait till he's old enough to play that game. I love that game.
I need to get it. I actually don't own it. I always forget about it.
Do you know another 2-player sports kind of game, Battle Ball? Have you ever bought that?
No, I've had so many opportunities to, and you tell me
super cheap, and one of the most hilarious. Me and my son played it. I don't know if he understood what was going on, but it was a blast. We were blowing each other. I mean, just blowing each other up and just slamming into each other. I had so much fun. I thought for a minute he was going to win by plain accident, but he didn't. But yeah, so basket's been the number one game we've been playing. We've been absolutely demolishing. But I played a lot of vintage games. The girls have a lot of big favorites there. I factored it in. I found out, maybe I'm a little biased here, but the games my son love are going to be a little bit higher than the games my girls love. Because the games my girls love, I'm not a big fan. The games my boy loves.
Dream Phone? What's wrong with you? That's a number one game.
Dream Phone's fine. Don't be knocking Dream Phone. The Dream Phone's fine. Okay, so that's what we've been playing. But the next question you have to ask, which I wasn't going to do this, but I did get some acquisitions. So new acquisitions. Now, you got one that I've had for about 1.5 years now, and you just found out about, and you love it. And it is the Wandering Towers. The Wandering Towers, which is a great game. It is a fantastic game. I still have it. But you have extra specially diddly pieces here.
Yeah, we got like these little 3D tower pieces. They're great.
Look at that.
Also got this sticker pack on Etsy from someone else where it puts little wooden stickers on the wooden meat.
What?
Both sides. Love it.
Look at you blinging out your Wandering Towers.
I blinged it out before I ever played it, hoping it was good. But I love the rules, and it blew me away. My group, I didn't expect them to like it as much. I was hoping they did, but we played, I think, like 6 games was the actual count that we ended up playing back to back. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
This is the top game for me now, for sure.
By the way, Kelly's in the chat. Kelly, did we find out when the next game day is? Because we talked about me bringing the Maximum Chrome Thunder Road. I can't wait to play. The last time they had it got canceled because of the winter storm. The last one did. But the one before that, that was when my car was dying. I bought a new car that weekend because if I couldn't get 30 minutes out of town. And by the way, Kelly, I am in town a lot in your neck of the woods. In fact, I was on the campus not till I should have stopped by. I should have texted you and stopped by, but I'll do it that next time. He got Twilight Struggle. Have you played that one?
No.
I hear awesome things about it.
Yeah.
Awesome things about it. Kelly has a lot of deep strategic games I want to play. But
I don't have people to play those with. And I played diplomacy ones. I'll never play that again. That and Axis and Ally. Those games are
well, there's a few that he has that I really want to play, but he has two younger kids who, want to play some more fast movies. And I'm totally fine. They're totally awesome. And so we've been but we played Project Elite, played it all the way through. Had the best time. Someone was cheating by accident. He thought if he shot one in a line, he would shoot everyone in that row. And I was like, dang, we're doing good. We're killing all of these aliens. Like, very rarely do you kill every alien on the board and have a few seconds left to just run. That very rarely. That was happening almost every time with us. I was like, dang, we're good. And then I realized one guy was like, he thought line of sight, he killed everyone on that row. And I was like, wait, what did you just do? Because I wasn't paying attention. I saw him clear. I said, what happened? And then I didn't explain the rules right. It doesn't matter, but it was a ton of fun. I have a ton of fun anyway. That's just a great game. He says diplomacy is a friendship destroyer.
If you're good at diplomacy and you're all understand it truly, then it's literally a standoff. It's who's going to give up. You need to go home. That becomes that kind of game. I dislike that. I dislike that.
Scott, Grandpa had a push button basketball game. Yeah. Oh, by the way, another game of mine, not a game, a little children's pinball game of mine, got my son smashed the pinball masher. I need you to look at that for me too. But anyway, so that's new acquisitions. Let me talk about Wandering Towers. Great one there. Let me talk about a few of mine because I did get to. One is one I've been looking for forever, for at least a year now. It has not popped up on eBay, and the moment it did, I got it. And I forgot to tell you, I named he lowered it for me because the shipping was almost just as much as because it's from the UK. I'm getting romped through the swamp, baby, and I'm so excited. This was I have a very short list of vintage games I'm looking for, and Romp Through the Swamp is one of those games that I just have to have. It's battery operated, a monster grabbing people. The sound effects in it are fantastic. Supposedly this is complete and in working condition. It's hard to find. I really want this game. Mark from Attic Raiders did a review on it. It's so much fun. I will be doing a review on it in the next week or so.
When that video came out, I looked at it and I was like, oh, this is cool. It made the sound effect. I paused this video, ran to eBay, and immediately bought the game that was available on eBay. Yeah. I didn't think about the price. I said, if anyone else sees this video, they're going to buy it. I'm not even going to think about it. I just bought it.
Yeah, I know.
$70 or something.
And I should have bought it back then, but the past year or so, it's been so hard to find. Like, the only thing I could find was an incomplete game. I was like, I'm not buying incomplete. And then finally someone put up a complete one. I was like, finally. I mean, this game wasn't even on BGG when Mark did the review. I mean, it's that rare. So it's such a phenomenal game. So I cannot wait to play it. My boy's going to love it. My kids are going to love it. It's going to be screaming and yelling. Oh, yeah. It's so much fun. And it's definitely going to be, obviously I only have 50 games in my top 50, but it's definitely going to be one of those. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get I'm so happy I got my hands on it. There's another game, not vintage, but it's not a game. It's basically a neoprene mat that came with the Kickstarter edition. But the only way you're going to get is someone sells their mat. Finally got a neoprene mat of Mosaic. Mosaic
looks like a MOBA.
It is an amazing game. It is an incredible game. And you get one action, but actions are so quick. Turns are so quick in this game that it'll be your turn before sometimes you even finish that action, whatever it is. And it is so much fun. It's area control a lot. And
Oh God.
you're
How
but
long
you
did
can
the games last?
the games last about an hour for typically 3 to 4 players, maybe a little over an hour 20 minutes.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
thing is, though, it looks very heavy. It is not. It
Hmm.
turns are really quick. Action's pretty quick. And you can win in several different ways. You don't have to have area control to win. If people aren't paying attention, if your philosophy studies get too great, you will win. If you start hitting all the wonders, which are really hard to do, but if you start rolling on wonders, you could win. I mean, there's several different strategies to pick one. Like one guy, and I was so happy he won the game. He won through warfare, which no one ever does. No one ever takes the warfare exit. It's very, very peace loving. But he realized through warfare he could get majority, and he did. It takes a while to build up your armies, but he did and really mastered. I stood up and gave him a round of applause. I said, dude, that was awesome. What you just did, I didn't think could be done. I thought warfare was like a way, you do it every once in a while. If there's something you're really fighting over, you get into warfare to see if you take that country over and win on close ties. I thought that's what it was for. But he developed a strategy around it. Now it won't work every time because now we know what to prepare for. But just that there's different aspects and different pathways to win is so much fun. And like I said, the game looks, oh my gosh, this looks so heavy. I have the Colossus edition, by the way. So there's 3D pieces.
Yeah.
And the Colossus edition, I mean, you got go big, go home, right? But the neoprene mat, I didn't buy this in the Kickstarter. And the copy I got did not come with the neoprene mat. And I thought for the longest, I don't need it. Yes, this game deserves a mat. It is top-notch quality. I love Mosaic. So much fun. Oh, that map. Yeah, it looks great. And Kelly, this is a really, honestly, Kelly.
Final Fantasy map from back in the day.
Yeah, the kids can play this too. My nephew was 13, 14. He's 15 now. So 14 or so, 13, when he first played it. This is one of his favorite games in my class. In fact, I think he's kind of grown out of board games because he hasn't come over this year. He ducked me on spring break because he didn't want to do a board. I pay for his meal too. I pay for his lunch. But anyway, I'm going to tell him I just got the neoprene. It's coming in Thursday. I said, I just got the mat. And he's like, are we going to play Mosaic? He's all in if it's Mosaic because Mosaic is a great game. And now my superb Colossus collection is complete because I got and I'm not for neoprene mats on everything, but for this
Does it get more deluxe than this photo here?
Probably I couldn't find one of just the mat. And the pieces, those are not, unless those are 3D wooden pieces, they may be the 3D.
Yeah, they look wooden from here.
Yeah, they are wooden pieces, but it's really nice. Like the first player is a block that's this big. It's Colossus, right? It's way overblown. And it's way overblown in price too, but it's totally
I gotta look out for it. A lot of people are selling this locally, funny enough. I'm gonna look into it.
But Kelly, this is another great game I could bring on one of the game days because it is so easy to teach and so many ways to victory. Like I usually try philosophy, but I lost this time, and I'm glad I lost because I thought I had a fail-safe cheat to win every time. But when people started getting more city, they started really going for the longest. You're thinking, oh man, Matt's grabbing up a lot of the small points here and there. Oh, Matt's really getting ahead. He's got 30 points. I don't have any. Well, when scoring comes, that's when it kills me because they're fighting for area control. And area control can give you some big points in there. And they started catching up with me. But I usually can edge out at the end. But when that dude went into warfare and started really dominating, I was like, oh, wow. So I saw a different strategy. The only one, and you do need every once in a while, is to get taxes and tariffs, which is a quick way to get money because money can be short at times. But not many people do it because you get -1 or -2 points every time you do it. But in this game, it doesn't. 1 or 2 points don't matter. The games usually end with someone getting a big lead. They're not. And by the way, you don't know until you do the final scoring who's got what. Because there's sometimes goals you can achieve in the game. I get the philosophy goals a lot. The learning, the what's it called? Not philosophy. I'm a more advanced civilization at the end of the game always, and that's how I get a majority of my points. But even that paled in comparison to majority control, which usually people pass up. They think, Oh, that's just a few points. Yeah, but in every section, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sections, that's a good handful of points. You've already caught up with the points I established in one round. And the game can end at any time because these cards are in the deck, shuffled in the decks. And once the last card comes out, the game ends automatically. And so you never know if you have enough time to build up for this next strategy. It's amazing. It's an amazing game. I'm super happy that now I have the pristine map. I can't wait to play it again. Now, moving on. Lots of topics here. Lots of topics. But real quick, it's time for a crowdfunding update.
Ooh.
Crowdfunding update. I'm not crowdfunding that many games. I can tell you that, guess what? Dark Road, Merchants of the Dark Road, the expansion is coming next year. Because they said they got it back into production, but they just don't think it's going to be out this year. It's fine because Cranium Games, who bought it, they don't have to deliver on that, but they did buy the rights to it from Elf Creek Games, and they are going to deliver it to us at no charge, they said. So they're taking, now, to be honest, that price got taken off of the price they bought for the rights for that. However, I always appreciate that's the deal, that I've already paid for shipping. It's coming to me. I can't wait to get it because I love Merchant of the Dark Road and I want to see what this new board will do. But that one's not coming. There's another one I'm going to hold off on because it's our next topic. I don't know if I'm going to get it or not. That one's in trouble too. I do think I'm going to get it, but
I think
there's a lot of people online saying nay. And then the other ones are delayed. That Marrakesh expansion is not coming out till this summer now. It's really bad. I talk about this in a future video. However, I do love Marrakesh. It's worth the wait. And I did back the third expansion. No, was it? Yeah, the third expansion that they just came out with the new box. And because I'm a sucker for Marrakesh, I think Marrakesh is obviously my favorite Queen game, but my favorite Stefan Feld game. And it's just an incredible game. It's an incredible game. It's so much fun. Bernardo, I wish we could play this together because you would absolutely adore this game. It is so much fun. And I've only won once, and that's because one idiot did the same thing I did. There's some in-game points you can get. They seem small, but in this game, you need every point. And people really work toward those in-game 5, 7 points, whatever. And it always edges me out at the end. I'm always getting passed up at the end because I don't pay attention to those in-game goals because it's only, 5 points here, 7 points here. It adds up to 15 points at the end, which is exactly what they need to beat me or something. But I'll be honest, it is such a fun game that I lose a majority of the time. I do not care because it's such a great game. But Marrakesh, I can't wait to get those in. And then I think that's it. I think that's it for me because I haven't backed anything newer except for the next expansion of Marrakesh. But what about you? And then one other game I shall talk about later. But what about you, my friend?
So the only game that I currently have backed is Camp Grizzly. It is a horror slasher board game. It is a reprint. Hold on, let me actually.
You were a big fan of that one.
I'm a very big fan of it. I do have the original. I have all the expansions for it. This not only deluxifies it, it cleans up the map. The original map is terrible. It's very hard to read. They fixed that. A lot of the card design structure, I think, is far superior. The upgrades are obviously way better, and the card stock's a lot better. So I'm glad they finally are bringing it. Trick or Treat Studios, if you guys are familiar, they're doing a lot of the horror games like Michael Myers and everything. Nice. So this is the only one I'm backing. The one I'm going to be backing is called Shug. I think it comes out later this month.
Screen here.
It's called
Shug. Okay.
It's like this creepy. It reminds me of, for people who follow vintage games, Horror House. It has like creepy monsters, and I'll be honest with you, I only kind of understand how this game plays, but I love the story. I think their marketing campaign's been excellent. Their level of promotions really off the charts. It's a game they created when they were younger and then decided to make it into a real thing. This is a photo of them playing it when they were kids and now they're grown.
Shut up. That's awesome.
So it has a cool story attached to it. I'm very excited for it. Outside of that, I do plan to I won't say buy those games when they come out later this year. Bullet Heart Cubed is coming out. Bullet is a really cool game. It's almost like an arcade kind of side scroller game that just gets ridiculous extremely fast. And Cubed is a big box that holds all of it. So I'm waiting for that to come out and I'm going to buy it all because a friend of mine locally has it that at our local game shop. And I played it and I absolutely fell in love with it. So I'll be buying that. And there's another game I'm looking at buying and I can't remember it off the top of my head, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I did. I need to back up a little bit. In the acquisitions role, I have
I don't buy much
got
anymore.
I have bought a few other games, expansions and stuff. I have a big review coming out 1st of April, but in April I'm going to review a few more games. I got the Bordeaux, the expansion to Viticulture. I got the Wingspan fan packs. So I'll talk about those, which I have played with. The Wingspan America's expansion. So I'll be talking about a few games, and then of course Romp from the Swamp will be some of the games I'll be talking about. But I did get a few other ones I should mention, but did play those, and I got reviews ready to go. I'll be doing some more reviews in April a little bit, and maybe that's also when we'll come out with our top 50. Who knows? But there is another game.
I'll have a video out, because the first is on a Wednesday.
Yeah. But there is another game that I have funded, and a lot of people online are saying, nay, I'm not getting it. I do believe I am, but it's DC United from CMON, and we need to know, is CMON dead? So this has been widely debated. If you don't know, CMON bit off a little bit more than they could chew. They've had to sell off a lot of IPs just to keep the lights on. They're promising, they're dedicated to try to get each one of these out the door. And on all accounts, it's not looking good because there hasn't been, at least on their site and on their updates, zero progress. Now, there could be progress. Maybe they're just not reporting it. They do have to, every once in a while, you hear them selling off a few more things to keep the lights on. And a lot of people tell me the line on who's definitely getting stuff and who's probably not, the line is at DC United, where some people are saying, well, I don't know if you'll get this. I think they will because they came out with the retail game already. And I think they need to follow up with that. I think it'd be good. And to be honest, I really hope they keep the lights on. I really hope they get some money back in because I want to see more DC United. I know we were going to if things hadn't gone south for them. But again, this is what I talk about with these Kickstarters. I mean, CMON wasn't just making hundreds of thousands. They were making millions on each one of these Kickstarters. So they were banging them out. And what happened to the millions and millions of dollars that you're making on each of these? You made another one, made millions of dollars to pay for the other ones. They were robbing Peter to pay Paul, then got caught, and now they're struggling. I do believe they may be on the up and up. I don't want them to go away. I definitely want my DC United, but I want more from them. Now, you notice one thing that they sold the rights to Massive Darkness. However, they did finish the expansion to Massive Darkness. So maybe they're going to finish them. If they want to sell DC United or United, which I don't think they would, that's such a moneymaker for them. But if they want to sell, they could get a very pretty penny for it. I just want whoever's doing it to continue making those games. I love the DC universe. I've been waiting forever for DC United. Forever. I cannot wait. Those are my characters. And I wanted to see more in season 2, which I knew was coming. We all knew was going to come because there's lots of other characters and other versions of characters that haven't been put in there yet. And I want to see more. But I don't know if we'll ever get those now. I just want my Kickstarter in. But right now, zero. They said it was supposed to be out now this summer. That was what their old website still says. I mean, it's not. It's coming out maybe next summer. I don't know. But last I checked. But I don't know. What do you think about CMON? Are they dead?
I don't think so. I think CMON has climbed out of a hole way too many times to think that that's going to let them go. I mean, I watched FFG do it more times than they deserved, in my honest opinion. However, they had way less IPs to work with, and they sold, that was a point where they sold like Star Wars Legion, which was like, wait a minute, are y'all just going away? And then they did a full 360, and they also hit y'all with a bunch of, Twilight Imperium and stuff. So I think CMON has a lot to still work with. I think if anything were to get to the point where whoever owns it had to like shut it down, someone would at least buy the name. That name will never go away. It's worth too much. The name is too valuable.
Yeah. The other one, Kelly was right. He said 4.4 million on DC United. I mean, we're talking millions plural, not just $1 million. Cool. But they've been making millions plural on each Kickstarter, and they're bankrupt. So skullduggery is afoot. Like I said, I think they get way too much money. They spend it, and then they realize they have all these extra costs
It's
that come
the
out.
ambitions. The
Yeah.
IPs are not cheap. And, DC, I imagine, you're holding on to it. You're slowly designing the game. And now the IP's like becoming fire again. Like the movies and stuff for DC are like escalating. And now it's like, is the IP growing on them like financially? That could also be happening. We don't really know.
I don't know. Mr. Serafox says, nice to see you, Bernardo. I bought many games thanks to you. Wishing you the best. Thank you for your videos. I miss them a lot.
Thanks.
We all miss Bernardo.
I have videos scheduled now, so it's all out of my hands now.
Okay, I'm going to rat him out. For the past 3 years, he told me he's had Halloween videos ready for 3 years.
So I've had
to explain it.
No, I've had Halloween videos recorded for a while, but these are now actually like they're out of my. It's coming, guys, and the format is going to change a lot, and you're going to be very excited. I'm very excited.
Okay, he's coming back. Okay, so there it is. I didn't want you to announce that right now, but that's okay. He's coming back, folks. He's coming.
I'll tell you when later. I'll tell you when later.
Yes, it's coming soon, sooner rather than later. Maybe within the next couple of weeks.
100%.
Maybe less than that. Okay, so anyway, be on the lookout. Bernard's going to be on my channel and his own very, very soon. Yeah. Very soon. By this time, soon, you'll know. All right, so anyway, that's all soon. Now it's time for my favorite section. We're going to call Drama for Your Llama. I really wish I would have created we just came up with this right before we went live. So, but Drama for Your Llama, this is the thing. The moment the lights went out, the moment I lost internet for 3 weeks, all this craziness is happening in the board game community. There was an update just recently on both of these, I think, which is why it came back up, which is why I know it's like, how did I not know this? And then realize it happened exactly around the same time when I lost internet. And for 3 weeks while I was not online, I wasn't checking BGG like I usually do. I wasn't checking the news. I wasn't checking online. I was just, streaming videos, checking my email, and that was basically it. For 3 weeks, I thought nothing could happen. And all this story blew over in those 3 weeks, and I didn't even know it until I got back on the internet and everything. My roof is finally getting fixed today and tomorrow. They're wrapping up, I think. But, yeah, my roof's finally getting fixed from the damage calls almost 2 months ago. So, and then my check finally comes in tomorrow, too. So, I mean, it's just like everything's finally I'm finally getting some closure on this. But that's why I'm trying, as the pieces of my life are coming back to normal, I'm finding all this stuff out. And boy, is there some drama for your llama. Now, we'll start with the smaller one that Bernardo didn't even know about.
I didn't know about this.
And by the way, this total opinion piece here. Total opinion piece. Okay. Nothing. But first one, Sam Healy of the Dice Tower has declared war. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't know he came back. To be fair, I also did not know he came back. I really enjoyed him, but I did not know he came back. I haven't watched their videos in like years.
I'll be honest, out of the top 3 at Dice Tower, him, Z, and Tom, I actually appreciated Sam Healy's takes and his reviews. His reviews were the only one I watched. No, that's a lie. Z does good reviews.
Z's very entertaining, but he loves dice games, and me and him, his love for dice, physical dice rolling games, I absolutely got that from him, I want to say. So now Z, I like his reviews too, I should say. And I've met Z and talked to Z. He's a really awesome guy. I've never met Sam. I wanted to meet Sam at Dice Tower, but he was gone at the time. He was not at the table. This is back when he was at Dice Tower. And I wanted to meet him because he and I have a lot more similar taste. And I love his no nonsense. You ever met Tom? Have you ever met Tom?
I've met Tom. He's taller than me.
Oh my God. Yo, it was almost like a cartoon character. Yeah.
He's 6'5". Yeah, he's a giant of a man. Yeah. He's a great guy. I like his thoughts on board games. I think his reviews suck. But at the same time, he just says, well, I'm not going to review all the rules because he just doesn't want to deal with it.
I
He's
mean,
on.
I don't blame them, but, like,
I,
to be fair, someone has to, so, I mean, they're doing so much content, like, I don't know how they do it.
but I wish he'd have someone else do the review and him give his thoughts because I like his thoughts on it.
He's been doing
And,
that a lot. He's hired on a lot of people.
yeah, he has. And by the way, I don't agree with Tom 90% of the time on his thoughts on board games, but I love to hear his thoughts either way. And he's a great guy too. They're all great people. Sam's the only one I didn't get to meet. And I really wanted to meet him because, like I said, our tastes line up and everything. I love his thing. And so if you don't know, what happened was the Dice Tower just finished up their Kickstarter run, support our channel. I looked, there was really nothing for me. Usually I do support them. But also I want some promos, what's in it for me. And there just wasn't anything that grabbed me this time. In fact, no one. I didn't even do Board Game Geek because I felt like he had the same promos as the year before. I don't think he had anything new, or at least maybe I didn't see anything. So I haven't promoted anyone.
Those promos.
Yeah.
I'm missing out on promos, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, the thing is, usually I am, but I'm like, no, I don't need any of this stuff. And some of the stuff, and most of the stuff I didn't have. So, but anyway, so Sam made some remarks about, oh gosh, I've already forgot his name. The guy who got shot by ICE, Alex Preddy or whatever.
Okay.
On his Facebook page, not on the Kickstarter, not on the Dice Tower, not on the Dice Tower channel, just on his own personal Facebook page. And it was basically, well, that's what happens. Don't bring a gun to a protest rally. You like he got what was coming. Okay, so a little inflammatory, right? He got what was coming. We've heard that on both sides, by the way, both sides. Oh, don't talk like that, or you're going to get shot. You deserve to get shot. Okay, no one deserves to get shot. No one deserves to die. I mean, unless the death penalty, I guess you could say someone murdered someone. There's death penalty there, I guess so. But anyway, you know what I mean. It's like, okay, it's an unfortunate thing that happened. Yes, you probably shouldn't bring a gun to why would you do that? Yes, I get that. But probably not say that remark like he got what he deserved. Now he did not say that. He just said you don't bring a gun to a rally or whatever. That's what you get when you bring a gun to. And it's a little bit. And he's known for his hot takes. He's known for his hot things. And so again, and it's on his personal Facebook page. But of course, people took issue with that, brought it into the Dice Tower.
The internet doesn't forgive you, and they
doesn't forgive.
They posted it everywhere.
Yeah.
I think when you're running a business, you have to consider the implication that politics have. I think if you are truly passionate and this actually connects with you, I'm not ever telling someone that don't put that out there because, if it's passionate and it's directly connected to something, you feel the need to share, sure. But there are repercussions. And when you're in a business like that, I understand when they have to take their own side of an action. And unfortunately, it seemed like he took the butt of it. There's a lot of things in politics I don't agree with. I don't post a lot about them because I'm sure I have a lot of hot takes. Heck, I got a lot of hot takes on Star Wars. So, if he ever wants to talk about that.
No, but also in my early videos, I've said this several times when I was doing Star Wars videos. If you noticed, I wore plain shirts. I didn't even want people to know what baseball team I cheered for. Now I don't care. But
I was Star Wars, baby. All right,
there you go. But no, I wore plain generic stuff because I didn't want people going, "Oh, he's a Mets fan. I don't want to listen to." I wanted to be so generic because I didn't want to be anything. Now
I'm glad you did that because you would have lost like every follower if you should.
I'm a Mets fan. But the thing is, though, I don't get very political. People can ask me on a live stream. They can ask me. I'll give my answers. But I'm not that type of guy that's just going to blast out. I'm not going to do a YouTube video about here's the world today and how we should. I'm not going to do that because there's two sides to every argument. You need to listen to both sides, make your own. But you definitely need to listen to both sides. You definitely need to look at both sides of this. And so I've looked at both sides of this and everything. And it's like, well, it was on his personal Facebook page. He can say whatever he wants. But also, I agree with Bernardo. You are like with the company I work for. If you've noticed, I will tell you offline. I will tell you to your face. I've never said it on YouTube or my
Star Wars
or my podcast because even though people can put it together pretty quickly, I think, but because there is a little rule about separation of that with your job and everything, and what I say never represents my job, and I never want to pretend to represent my employer as well. But I also want to be careful, right? You always want to be careful. And anything I post up, and people at work do know I have a YouTube channel. They do love it. I do have
Thanks,
people
buddy.
from work on it. But the thing is, though, I'm not just constantly talking about my work and everything. Not Batman. And plus, because in a way, you could be construed as a representative of that. I'm very wary about that. So the same thing is, and
It
I
sucks.
know the HR policy, but to be honest, now that I heard he had just come back to the Dice Tower is what it was. And so he was coming back part-time and now had to leave on his own accord, which I believe he did. But then it put the Dice Tower. Oh yeah, you got Scott's attention with that Star Wars Unlimited card.
Yeah,
Anyway,
I showed him.
but anyway, you've got the IRA people at the same time. Dice Tower gets put in a little thing because if they hold a stance on it, then they kept saying they're apolitical. And then the critic said, no, they're not. They posted this once, which was true. And I bet 1,000,000 times over, if Tom could take back that statement, he would. Because he said we're apolitical. We don't talk about politics. But he did once. He took a stand on something. And
we got the guy who designed those big war games, Blood Rage and stuff. I can't remember the name.
Eric, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, Eric Andre is Eric.
I can't. No, it's Eric something.
No, Eric Andre is a comedian. I'm tripping. Never mind.
Eric something. But anyway, the thing is though, he took a stance once. He probably shouldn't have. He did. So now to say we're apolitical looks like you're shielding for one side or the other, and you don't want to get that tug of war. People are absolutely ridiculous. I think I've said this 1,000,000 times. I really don't care who you voted for. Because if you like board games or you like Star Wars, we can talk about that. I'm not going to focus on the differences. But nowadays, like, wait, did you vote for the blank? Okay, then you're not my friend. I don't want. And even in the board game industry, I heard one of my favorite. I unsubscribed from him when I heard it. But Rado said, if you don't vote the way, if you don't think politically that he doesn't want to talk to you. He doesn't want you sitting at the table. I was like, whoa, that is. I haven't did
a Rado video in forever, man. I used to love his videos.
I used to love his videos. And
he got me on Escape. That was how I found
He got me on so many. He was the biggest influencer for me. But to say you don't have a seat at my table, I'm like, dude, I play with people who think the exact opposite of me on everything. And we've even played what's the campaign trail, you know? And I mean, we played it, but we went there. And when you're at the table and no one's the Republicans. But the thing is, though, it's we don't care, you know, because we're playing a game. We're not talking politics. We know we're on different sides of the fence, but no one cares. It should be. Board games should bring us together. And when Rado says drew the line in the sand and wants you to be segregated, put apart, I thought that was just a wild message from someone who is generally what I consider a really nice guy, but that took a wild turn for me when he said that. I was like, dude, that's deep. Because someone said in the chat, Rado, we're on opposite sides of the political spectrum, but I do believe I could sit down with you and play a game and still enjoy it. And Rado goes, well, I'm going to have to correct you there because no, if you are, then you need to rethink your life. And no, I don't even want to see you. I don't want to be around you. I was like, whoa. That was so divisive to say. So at the same time, I think it should bring together at the same time. But I also see it from the other point. So Dice Tower can't be political, but they don't say anything. It looks like they're shooting for one side. And they're trying to make and I think for the most part, the drama's kind of faded away now. Sam's kind of, I'm sure he's happy to be back at Dice Tower. He's moved on, his channel moves on. I don't watch much stuff on his channel anymore. But the thing is, though, I always appreciate his reviews. So I see both sides here. It's a sad case that happened. Sam doesn't regret it because it was on his personal Facebook. Why does that matter? At the same time, I think he does realize, well, I guess I do reflect Dice Tower. Now that I'm part of Dice Tower, now I can't say all this stuff now. And it kind of sucks. It's a double-edged sword there. But for whatever way.
It's the same thing for like a celebrity, right? People get called out for old videos that they did that were, let's say racist in some context. Like they went back and they found it on their personal pages. Like you have to treat everything like that. Like I'm never afraid to have conversations about politics, but I would rather do that in person. Yes. And I'd rather it be a very specific question because I can't do a stance for everything because then I become a political.
And I don't want to do that. If I wanted to have a political channel, I'd put a political channel up there.
Yeah.
Oh, and like I said,
I'm
I'm
not
happy to have the
qualified to
conversation.
have a political channel.
Yeah, for real. Me neither. I mean, it's just advices. It's just opinions. So
Yeah.
the thing is, though, I want to talk about things, and I'd rather talk about more things we have in common than things we have apart. I just don't. But it's so separate. And the other thing is, I also want to say another thing. It sucks to be a kid today trying to get into a job, and then someone looking through old posts of your Facebook, and when you were 15, you said something really stupid, and you're trying to, get this person. Oh, look what they said when they were in high school. Dude, I'm just glad I didn't have social media when I was in high school. I mean, can you imagine all the stupid things you say? The stupidest things you say. I'd kill my teacher if I could. I swear to you, people would say that. There've been a million plan. He wanted to kill people, or he talked about how women are stupid, or even worse. But the thing is, though, they were a kid. Hopefully, they've matured since then. You got to let that go. I'm sick and tired of it. But anyway, all right. So the big one. Oh wait, hold on. That's not it. What am I doing here? The big one. And you're gonna love this one that I got for you.
This one's hard.
Hey, Michael. This one is rough because I didn't know about it until last week. Yeah, baby. Ding, ding, ding. Fight. Now, here's the thing. This is bad because not only have I met both of these and talked to them on multiple occasions, I actually like both of these people. I think they're really nice. I will be completely fair. I unsubscribed from Paradise when it ceased to be that and went to something else. I understand Chaz is trying to redefine who he was and everything, but I didn't feel the humor, he still got some good content. And then Rodney, I don't know what it is, but I rarely watch a Watch It Played. Again, I think he is the best in the business at what he does. And I think Chaz is so insightful. When he was part of Board Game Breakfast, Head in the Clouds with Chaz Marlar, that was one of my favorite segments in Board Game Breakfast was Chaz Marlar. And when these two teamed up, Chaz basically, let his channel just die and then reinvented it. And there's been a lot going on. So right as my electricity went out and everything, Rodney releases an unlisted video, which, to be fair, he posted on his Facebook page and sent a link for.
Because he didn't want people on his channel to not understand the context. But he wanted the community to know. It was actually a really smart move on his part.
It was a move to make, and he never names Chaz. He names the president of or the owner of, which we know is Chaz. And he even says, by the way, I'm not saying his name. He's trying to make this as, just here's my opinion of what is going on. Here are the facts. Put some screenshot, as they say, brought the receipts, some people say, and said this is why he's duping people. And so what was Chaz doing that really upset Rodney over the past few months prior to that December and January? A little bit November, December, January. He was using YouTube ads, which really bumped up his subscribers, bumped up his view counts, and then decided to was charging publishers by the view count, thereby maximizing money. However, with these YouTube ads, the average viewer wasn't staying on as much as what Rodney was showing and dropping off.
It wasn't even just that. He was, you can look, everybody's pointed it out. In 3 months, he went up 100,000 subscribers. That's not real. This data is not. You can't have 1,000 views consistently on videos with a few spurts here and there, and then have that many followers. That's just not mathematically. It doesn't make sense.
That's the big one. That's the crux of it. Everything else is just noise. That is the crux. That is the crux right there. And I'll explain why.
Using that to lie and inflate.
Rodney was saying, Chaz, this is wrong. You shouldn't do this. You should give refunds. Chaz gave 70% back, but Rodney goes, no, it should be more. Now, I'll get to that in a minute. I'll get to Chaz's side in a minute, but Rodney says it should be more, and Rodney thinks this is awful. He hates this. He went public with it because he wants to formally separate himself just in case, because when you're the bigger you are in YouTube, the more people want to take you down. And he knew if Chaz ever got busted for this, or when he did, Chaz is so connected to Rodney to think, oh, Rodney must do that too. That's how he's built up. And Rodney's proud of the hard work he's put in, of the subscriber count he's pulled in over the years. Okay. He's grown it the homegrown way. And he has a lot of integrity. He has a lot of pride in what he's built. And he doesn't want to be associated with someone just buying YouTube ads to rise to the top. Because Chaz went from a smaller channel to the 5th largest board game reviewing channel overnight in 3 months. Which
literally
never happened.
overnight. And it's not even so much paying for YouTube ads, because he tried to really pivot that in his video, and it was very, he was very convincing. It sounded really good on Chaz's video and his response, but he was focusing on, I paid for ads, like you can in YouTube. It's a feature that exists, and he's right, but that isn't what he was doing, because you can't get the number return that he was getting. These subscribers are fake.
Yeah. Now, Rodney, to his credit, is also saying that I don't believe anyone who worked with Chaz was involved, because they don't have the ownership view that I have, or the manager view that I have, or whatever, the high view. And so it kind of making sure to cover his tail in case he thought I'm accusing all the people that are with him too, because these are all peers. These are all people who know each other. And I'll be honest, your buddy from Board Game Co. Gave a good talk about it.
He's very good.
I've watched a lot of his reviews lately. I know he's one of your favorite ones. I've never been a fan, but I really like his talks. I may start watching his channel more regularly now. But anyway, so that was Rodney's thing. Now, it took a long time, but Chaz finally did a response a few weeks ago, which is how it popped up in the news again, which is how I found out about it. I was like, what? His response to what? I had to go back and look through this. By the way, Bauer from Bauer's Game Corner, a very fair assessment. A very fair assessment of both. However, so on Chaz's point of view, he's like, hey, I did nothing illegal according to YouTube standards. You can buy ads, you can do this, it can help promote your channel, and that's what I did. Okay, yes.
But explain the rest.
Okay, but yeah, explain it. And he said, but he also shows his own numbers and saying the numbers, he chose the worst graph. Here I am showing you more realistic graphs and saying this is where the 70% came from. And I've always been, and I'll be honest, defenders of Chaz say, hey, I know Chaz as a personal friend, and I hate Rodney is way more popular on the internet than Chaz is. Not many people know Chaz, people know Rodney. So a lot of people are taking Rodney's side and abusing, talking bad about Chaz. But they say, hey, Chaz really does care. I believe he does care too. But I also want to show you that someone went through, he did a bit of digging. I saw this on Reddit, and the video and the retention rates on YouTube. It seems that his average video loses 55% of viewers in the first minute, and then 77% of viewers from end to end. Now, Watch It Played also seems to have a very similar drop off, but only 67%.
Watch It Played is tricky though, because one of the things those things can't calculate is skipping in the video. So it will look at a retention rate in the beginning, but you might skip the intro and go straight to the watching of the playthrough element of it, because I do that in his videos. So it's harder because his is specifically a how-to. So those drop-off points are a lot more consistent than with Chaz's, where he's not just teaching you how to play a game. He's playing a game. He's reviewing a game. All his stuff is like mathematically none of that makes sense. And it sucks because people are, they're trying to defend Chaz because he's this great guy. But like, who would defend him better than Rodney, this 10-year plus 15-year friendship?
Right.
That was one of his best friends.
That's the other thing, that Chaz is accusing Rodney of not knowing how YouTube works. I don't think so. That's a little far-fetched. However, during average views, if this guy's speaking right, this guy didn't have a dog in the fight. He just said, he looked at views and he said, so the 70% discount that he gave wasn't that far off from what they deserved, looking at the averages. So he gave them that part. Now, at the same time, he's accusing Rodney of sabotaging a channel, which let's look at this. Let's be fair. Rodney did throw a huge spanner in the works there. And I mean, he must be having turmoil, not only with publishers and sponsors, but with his own crew. I mean, who knows what turmoil, because he's put his whole channel on pause, and I bet there's a lot of damage control he's having to do. And the big critique here is that Rodney did start this. He did bring this. And when you air your dirty laundry it doesn't look good for the community. A lot of people post this like sad day for the community that these two are fighting, but you've made it public now. Now, why did he do it? I want to be clear. Rodney
To
did
cover
it
his
because he
back.
was afraid. I need to make sure I'm clear from
Yeah,
this.
he did right. I think Rodney
However,
is correct
it
in this. I
it's,
don't disagree with it.
well, now I think Chaz was trying to. Now, I'm gonna throw Chaz a bone here because the guy is awesome. He is one of my honestly out of all the people we've been talking about, like the Dice
Mm.
Tower people, right? I mean,
I watched
Chaz has
his
been the
videos
one.
back then.
Chaz
Yeah,
has
he's
been the
great.
one that I have enjoyed so much discussing with. I think he's a fun dude. He does care about the hobby. So where Chaz thinks he didn't do anything wrong because he didn't go with YouTube. The thing is, though, you got a bunch of empty subscribers. His view counts are the same. Even though his subscribers shot up, his view counts are the same. Everything basically is relatively unchanged. He just grew up overnight. Now, the thing is, he should see that this is hourly inflation numbers. He may have thought, hey, this will get more views to help the publishers out. Let's give him a benefit of the doubt and say, hey, maybe if I advertise more, I'll get more views. Now, the thing is, I looked at a long time ago. You get all the ads. I don't know if you got the emails too. Hey, Matt, great channel. We could help promote it and push your channel to the moon. I was like, yeah.
I get
But
him.
and when I look
That's
at that
different,
stuff,
though.
and when I look at the sponsored ads on YouTube, because they've tried to sell me that too, when I look at it online, I read about it, I'm going, okay, it looks like it'll artificially inflate your numbers, but your view counts remain the same. And I was like, well, there's no point in me spending money on doing this because I don't want to if I have 20,000 subscribers, but I still have the same people watching, what does that matter? Like, so by the way, I love every subscriber I get, but what does that matter? I didn't do it for the subscribers. I'm not looking for a part-time job or a full-time job doing this at all. I think everyone knows that now. I celebrated 9,000, and I'm 800 away from 10,000. Yay. I'll grow them naturally, slow. Everyone's being Matt, if you did more videos like that, if you spent more time in the editing room, if you did that, I'd probably grow a lot more. But the thing is, though, am I looking to make this a part-time job or full-time job like my buddy Ryan does, like other people do? No, I'm not. This is a hobby for me. It's fun. I appreciate every person who subscribes. I've never asked anyone to. I don't get all my family and friends again to say, hey, can y'all all sub to me? I've never done that because it doesn't matter. I mean, in the kind of sense, it doesn't. But if you're trying to make a living out of it, I get it. You're trying to do everything you can. Maybe sponsorships work, but they don't. And from what I've studied beforehand. So maybe Chaz didn't know that. But at the same time, you grew to the 5th largest channel on board games, and you did not see a problem with this, that your view counts were remaining the same, that this really wasn't doing anything after 3 months. And then people make a good point. He only stopped doing this when Rodney went public.
Yeah, that's the big thing.
He
is
did
like,
not stop in December, which he could have stopped. And I think that would have squashed the whole thing. I think Rodney would have let him go, and it'd have been fine.
Rodney would have wanted him to go public and say what he did, that he made this change. He would have wanted that. But
I think Rodney would have wanted him to talk to the publishers and just reveal to them. I don't think to the audience.
Yeah,
I don't think he was looking at that.
But here's the thing. Did he give back 75% because he got caught? Because it sounds like when he decided to do all of this was when Rodney decided he was not okay with this. And it's like, okay, you've decided to do what you should have done in the beginning, but now I don't know if I can trust you.
Yeah.
And that's a problem for a business partner.
And it is, and that I truly believe Chaz doesn't see what the big issue is. He doesn't see, and it's unfair to people say, oh, I noticed that Chaz turned off the comments. Well, Rodney said he wasn't going to address anymore until, and this is a fair argument too, he went on BGG on a thread and only responded to comments of people agreeing with him.
Mm-hmm.
And then anyone attacking Rodney was automatically censored by BGG because they love Rodney. So Rodney had a safe space in arguing on BGG, but he only picked only people who agreed with him did he make long. I didn't read all of his posts, but he's obviously really torn up about this, but he's not really responding to criticisms either. So in their own ways, they're not responding to criticisms. Rodney obviously has issues with them. They're probably still, I hope they're talking this out. I don't trying to find a solution. I don't think so either. Sadly,
I think the friendship's over, unfortunately.
I hate it.
Rodney knew that going in. I mean, I think of, I've been a fan of Rodney for a while. Now, I don't watch a lot of his how to plays. One, they're very long, and I don't need videos that thorough typically. I can understand rules. I'm just lazy. I need the fast run through. But I remember he was on Board Game Barrage. I was telling you this, but I didn't tell you the story. And he talked about like his childhood. And I think listening to his discussion on that really got made me understand why Rodney is the way he is about like, I don't know, his integrity and stuff. And he talked about like being a kid and his family wouldn't allow him to play board games. He was not allowed. He wasn't allowed to play. And it was because, of the religious side of it. They thought it was demonic. They thought it was wrong. They made him feel bad for even wanting to play them. So he would go to friends' house and kind of sneak to play. And his love for it was great, but he had this conflict his whole life of like, my family won't accept this. And it's kind of sad how he described it and kind of when that change and kind of his communication with them about it. It's pretty good. It was
Yeah.
really good. And it made me understand that why he cares about the things he cares about. But
Yeah.
it sucks overall. I didn't ever
Yeah.
have an issue with Chaz. I liked a lot of his videos when I saw them. He got Paula Deming on his channel. I love her. Anything she's in, I would
Yeah.
just support because I think she's
Yeah.
fantastic. But this is rough, and I'm just gonna see how it plays out. I don't
Yeah.
really side, obviously I'm definitely team Rodney from all the facts that were presented to me, but like I'm not really watching either of their stuff, either of their
Me
content.
neither.
So like I'm not really affected personally by it, like I guess by how I obtain content, but it is a sad moment for sure. I hate
Yeah,
this.
and I don't subscribe to either one of them. Like I said, I rarely watch it played. I think he does a great job, and a lot of people love him. I see why it's great. Like I said, when Chaz had his Paradise, where he would just kind of give random,
Yeah, I
he didn't
love
really do
that
reviews.
channel. It was
He was
cool.
just doing thoughts about the board game industry, being a board gamer, the hobby in itself. And I thought they were so
The
insightful.
BGG top lists, like he was the
And
one
his
that got that.
his head in the clouds, stuff like that segments. That was when he was at his best, and then he started being not every day. He still does some of that stuff, but it just got less and less. So then I just kind of stopped subscribing. And Kelly is exactly right. If we did more vintage Voltron, my subs would go through the roof. But a more civilization is like incredibly the biggest thing I ever do on streams, and this is the
How
lowest.
many people? How
This
many
is
people
the,
watch that stream? How many people roughly? Like
at a time 40 to 50, but the thing is though it gets hundreds of views afterwards. That's just
yeah, 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 I
it's
was
the
just curious. I was
flagship
just curious.
stream. It's the flagship
Yeah,
show I have,
yeah.
and this is
We're
in
about to
all the
change
rankings.
that. YouTube. We're
This
changing.
is below board game reviews. This vintage Voltron has always been. But the thing is though, I don't care, Kelly. I'm going to keep doing it because I actually
We're gonna
love
call this a less civilized age, so they watch it. Don't worry. We're gonna fix it.
Yeah. Well, vintage Voltron is a lot of fun, and I want to do this. I'll take this one down. And by the way, this is an actual picture. This is not AI. Just want to tell you that. So, to wrap up real quick, I want to do this more often. We want to have special guests on. Didn't we have Bauer for one of these? I feel like we had him on once, but either way, I can't
I don't
recall.
remember. I don't think so.
But either way, we want to do more. I have.
We did. Yeah, we
There's
did.
a
We did.
Yeah, there's a few other topics I want to address, but I wanted to save a few because we have tons of things to talk about and probably do it. I had this as the first quarter stream. Will we do another one in the second quarter? I'd like to do them more monthly. But anyway, but definitely I do have a short guest list I'd like to bring on. And Kelly, if you want to come on too, I'd love to have you. But
Heck yeah.
either way, everyone have a great night. We do these randomly. Like we were supposed to do it last night, but I text Bernardo way too late, and then he texts me even later.
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I can do it now." Oh man, I was already asleep. I fell asleep early that night, but I'm still not used to the spring forward, dude. It's just killing me in the morning.
It's rough. It is rough.
Yeah. But anyway, all right, gang. We'll see you next time. Vintage Voltron. Game on.